Always fresh and a little bit sticky. Keep it locked on Cannabis.wiki. We're always fresh and a little bit sticky. The green room on Cannabis.wiki.
Look at how proud we are of that. We get so quiet and we just listen.
Laura Cole's the best.
Yes, she's really good. Her album release party is this tonight and tomorrow.
Did she invite us?
Well, she did. She did actually invite us.
She did.
But I didn't tell you because we're not going. We got work to do. We'll be there in spirit.
That's terrible.
We'll promote it online.
Okay.
Yes, I will make sure it's shared. So, Derek, I'm super excited about today's guest. Really, really excited. And I wanted to make sure that I and we were excited for the right reasons. Like, it's a really, really important, honest, personal story that we're going to, I want to make sure we're giving it the respect and the attention. And Cannabis.wiki had our platform is pretty corporate now. We're all about business and all about the big guys. This is a story that's super important to share.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn. And
definitely.
So that, we know the right way. Like I said, I'm not on a lot of social media. And
he's not up on a lot of his social protocols.
Exactly. So I want to be respectful and learn about the correct way of addressing people.
So we brought our friend Ryan. Hey.
What up, what up?
We're thrilled to have you here. Thrilled. I actually barely slept last night and the night before. Just trying to make sure that we were doing this for all the right reasons and that the conversation was going to be based around a real heartfelt, somebody's personal journey to be protected and supported. So, and loved.
I love you guys for that. Thank you.
So welcome, Ryan.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Oh, so that's
What have you been up to?
Good to be back.
Like in
Good to be
business and,
Yeah.
Because the last time you were here was before COVID.
Yeah.
So, it was COVID affected everybody. It was a big downer.
Definitely.
And nothing to do. And yeah, so what did you do through COVID, and how have your businesses and your personal life progressed?
Well, big change. I came out as Ryan and not Whitney. So the last time I was here, I was obviously Whitney. Big change in business too. We changed our platform from MyBud, which is strictly cannabis, to opening it up to mental health and physical health as well. So that was something that was really important, especially during my self-discovery, was figuring out the gaps in our healthcare system and taking the time during COVID especially to figure out what were the gaps, what was needed in our country, let alone in the United States as well, and where we could kind of fill in those gaps. So, for example, MyHealth, you'll be able to find a family physician as well as be able to find a therapist through our site.
And MyHealth, formerly MyBud.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we've encompassed that. I think it's something that should be addressed because it's a problem that I'm facing currently. I moved from Toronto to Windsor for my lovely girlfriend who's also
Oh, you live in Windsor?
I do.
Oh, wow. Close to me now.
Yeah, so I made the switch, thank God. And it's been challenging even just to find my family doctor retired. And, the slew of medication I was on now just completely stopped because he retired. So we kept trying to find family doctors I definitely know she had in the space. And it's been difficult to find one. I think I've called over 35 family physicians to see if they're even accepting patients.
Right.
Which all of them weren't. I finally found one, and he wasn't able to speak to us. This was in February. We couldn't speak or get an appointment until April 5th. So for people like me that are trans, it's really difficult to, I'm lucky enough that I'm comfortable in my own body, regardless of what form it takes, but a lot of people in my community aren't. So, that kind of span between between my last family doctor appointment to the one that I currently have, a lot of people would experience dysmorphia, body dysmorphia. Some people are really rushed to get on testosterone and, start feeling like their authentic self. So it's really difficult for people in my community to even start the process, because you do need to have a family physician in order to be prescribed testosterone. So there was definitely a huge gap that I saw within that through my own self-discovery, let alone people that I know that have transitioned and stuff like that. So finding a family doctor has been such a hard period, especially with, you know, even my partner that suffers from mental illness and stuff like that. Even being able to find a therapist or a psychologist or anything like that, it all stems from finding a family physician. So we are now trying to close that gap. So you'll be able to find a family physician in your area if you want to meet in person to have that family doctor, or be able to talk to them virtually if that's what you're comfortable with. And that goes for therapists as well.
So I'm taking it right back. When you were here with us last, was all of this in the background? Like, has this been, how long has this been in, like, you're trying to run a business, you're trying to start a corporation, you're starting to grow, and then who you are as a person is in conflict and is uncomfortable. And it, like, so I know for myself, when I'm trying to make just a daily decision, I have all this other right here. So, which affects everything. Yeah. How did that, like, when did that start for you? When did the thoughts start and the uncomfortableness feeling like, what, there's something going on here?
Good question. I feel like it started subconsciously when I was a child. Like, for example, I chose the name Ryan because when I was younger, I would always play house and everything. I was always the husband. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I just grabbed...
So was I.
Yeah, we should talk about that. So I was always the husband and stuff, and for some reason I always chose the name Ryan. So when I was on this journey to self-discovery, I first came out as non-binary, and that just meant that I wasn't sure what gender I was or how I wanted to be perceived or anything. All I knew is, like, when I was a child, I used to always want to be the husband. I always wanted to be Ryan. And then, obviously, I came out gay, and, you know, the woman part felt right. So being with a woman felt right, and then I started to develop more of, like, a masculine side, started dressing more masculine, started acting more masculine, and I think that was the pinnacle of what skyrocketed my self-discovery. Is, like, eventually I was just like, you know what, like, there might be something more here, like, let's explore this a little bit more. And it wasn't until actually I cut my hair, which was a big one. As you know, I used to have, like, giant, long blonde hair. And I remember the first moment that my hairstylist cut my hair. And immediately, like, she didn't even give me, love you, Sarah, but you didn't even really give me time. Like, she was just like, it was in a ponytail, and she was just like, are you sure? I'm like, yep. She's like, ugh. So immediately after, I was like, I had this, like, euphoric feeling. And I'm not really sure how to explain it, but I felt right. And then, like, the more time that came on, the shorter the hair got, and I felt more myself. So I think that was, like, a huge part of it, is just, like, taking that final step and just, like, cutting my hair. Because, like, my grandparents, my parents, everyone was like, oh, you have the most beautiful long blonde hair. You're so beautiful and everything.
Derek thinks a woman should have long hair. Uh-oh. Look at he's like, can we say that? Uh-oh. Here comes the hate, Derek.
Thank you, Jackie. Oh, yes, the queen of cannabis is forbidden to cut her hair.
Whatever.
It's okay, Jackie. I'll be the king of cannabis.
There you go. Continue, Ryan.
Yeah, so it wasn't, when I cut my hair, it was just like this feeling that just felt right, and I cried. And I'm not much of a crier, contrary to popular belief. But I just, like, broke down in tears, and I felt, like, better. And then the more masculine that I became, and, like, the more changes that I made, I felt right. So, I mean, even every day, it's still a self-discovery. It's still new things that I'm learning, but I'm really excited. And I don't think that I've ever felt more myself than...
Do you question, like, when you're getting out of the shower and you're brushing your hair or whatever you do you question, like, am I doing the right thing?
Never. Sort of... I hate my tits. I hate it.
Me too. That's what I did during
like,
COVID.
Literally,
took them out.
Any time that I see them in, like, the mirror, or, like, I touch them, I'm just like, oh, get these off.
Really?
Yeah, but I honestly, even when I was gay, like, I never really liked my boobs.
You just
And
always identified more masculine.
yeah,
You're
and
more.
like I just hated the way that they looked, the way they felt, the way they moved. Like it didn't feel like they were supposed to be on me. So.
But you are attracted to them in your partner.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Gotta have them then.
So Ryan, do you identify as gay or straight?
I like to identify as queer.
Queer.
So
That encompasses the whole community. then.
Yeah. Like I don't like to. I hate the word straight. For some reason, it just gives me the weird.
It also creeps me out. I'm freaking the
Yeah.
furthest thing from straight, but
know
I'm
you are.
straight.
Yeah, you're straight, but you're straight.
Shh, look at Derek. He's like,
Well, no, I'll tell you
What
what.
kind
I
of
was
stories am I gonna hear?
Yeah, like so it's it's very like just how it is like out there, like it's very
awkward, uncomfortable.
yes, it's very thank you. It's very
As he's going,
because you want to be respectful, and it's like there's so many like people call people out on social media and stuff like,
Yeah.
oh, you're doing this and you're saying this, and it's not like. It's more comfortable here to having this conversation with you because we know each other. We're in a safe spot, but like, yeah, if you can kind of explain for people who don't know, like, okay, so like for instance, even your story, you said, okay, at first you were non-binary, so that means that you didn't know whether
he
you
didn't
wanted.
identify at the
Right,
time.
so-
Didn't identify with men or women.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then at that point, how
both.
would, so how would now, at that point, how would I have addressed you?
They, them. So
Okay.
when you're non-binary, usually you go by they, them,
Mm-hmm.
or if you want to be called a cat, I don't know. Again, this is still like unicorn. This is like a constant self-discovery, and there are no wrong questions. So a part of the reason why I'm doing this interview is because I think it's important for people, not only just in our space, which is can be full of bullies and people that make you uncomfortable and people that talk down to you and stuff like that, but I think it's important just to have someone that's going through this just to be able to answer questions.
Yeah.
Because
Because I don't want to be perceived as being
like
not,
mean or
mean or something when
anything.
I don't even know if I'm being mean.
Yeah, totally. No, I get that.
Because you're already the black guy, so you're like, come on.
I get that though, because like a lot of people are afraid to ask questions,
Right.
But that's how you learn.
Yes, and that's
exactly
why.
how
Except for on social media, you ask a question. It's not our job to educate you, and you're being a bitch, and how inappropriate. That is why these conversations are so important.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because nobody wants to like sit on their phone until 4 a.m. and Google transgender
Okay,
people.
thank
right?
you.
Although I
That's
did.
That's the exact. Because I was talking with my friend, and that's the exact thing that I said. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be insensitive, but at the same time, I'm busy and I'm not on social media. Like, I'm not on social media.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't keep up. And it's like, it seems like it's a fast moving space.
Definitely.
So it's like, it's very hard to, so that's why I was so excited to have this conversation to figure out, what it is. Because
He's like, when do I dress? Like, okay, he, she, they, them. What is it? When do I? I'm like, whatever's presenting you, Ryan is he. I can tell this is a he, right? But the non-binary part where they identify as they, is that a trans, or do they stay like that for the rest of their life, or are they about to transition one way or the other?
No,
or?
it doesn't mean that necessarily they're going to transition. Like I can answer questions about my own transition and what I choose to do with my body, but I would say that like non-binary are just their own realm.
It's just a whole nother.
They're just like they don't identify as like a male or a female. They're just somewhere in between or both.
Are they bisexual?
Depending, like you can be non-binary and still be straight. You can be non-binary and be gay. So there's a difference between your sexual identity or your identity and then what your sexual preferences are. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but okay.
I'm a freak,
I get
but
that.
I'm a girl.
We all know you're a freak, Jack.
But
Sorry, continue.
like, if you don't personally know that person, then it's like you're not really gonna get that involved. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
for instance, say I just met you and I'm talking to you and I'm like, okay, Ryan, but I don't, need to ask you who you want to fuck.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
A nicer way would be like, hey, my name is Derek.
Right.
Just wondering how to address you. What are your pronouns?
Okay.
You don't think that's not insulting? Because I'm thinking,
No.
I've just duded myself up and you want to know what my pronouns are? I'm a fucking man, dude.
No, I don't even take offense to it.
No?
Because a lot of people within like the queer realm or the LGBTQ realm, are like me. Like they're not, some of them are easily offended, but like for the most part, if you just go up to someone and you're like, hey, I'm just wondering how to properly address you. Like, what are your pronouns? I feel like that's almost something that, how do I say this? Like escalates them too, because it's like also like you're curious enough to know.
Yeah.
Care enough
I want to be
know.
respectful.
Yeah, and care enough to know.
Right.
So I think that's important, especially when, you see someone like me or something like that, is to always ask like, hey, like how would you wish to be addressed? That's definitely something that hasn't happened to me very often. But it's also a learning experience. Like right now I'm not fully transitioned or anything like that. So like there are a lot of things about me that are female presenting, aka my tits for one. So it's always nice to be asked that question because it's almost like a thing of respect too,
Yeah. That's what. Okay.
So, like, I'm going to say back in the day, God, I'm so old. There's gay clubs. Is there transgender club community? Like,
Not that I have found, but I'm very interested. Yeah, business idea.
like we both go,
All right, so are we all starting a business together?
all of a sudden we need a transgender club or community or trips, like transgender travel and stuff.
It's also, it's like, also, it's a really tight-knit group too. Like I have a few trans friends and it's really nice to have those, especially going through my own discovery, because there are a lot of things that like you just don't know at the beginning, like how to get testosterone. Do you want a patch or do you want to inject it? What's your comfortability with that? How to legally change all of my stuff. Like,
because your former identity now did Whitney die, like pass on, or how do they do that? How do you?
I think that I'm not sure the back ends of it. Like I'm in the process of doing it now. I had to get my like original birth certificate. I'm adopted, so that was
that's right.
That was fun. So I had to apply to get my original birth certificate in order to change all of my my information and stuff like that. But there is a few different resources that you can choose. Like I'm part of one in Windsor now that's called Trans Wellness. So they hook you up with a therapist. They hook you up with a trans-friendly physician. I still need to figure out if they're accepting patients or not, like ongoing. But this person helps you set up with tea. They help you set up with like a whole bunch of stuff. They also have something called the ID clinic, which literally just helps you change all of your identity.
Oh, wow.
And they actually have a legal team too that helps you. Like I have questions like, okay, Whitney Heckford is on all of my business stuff. How do I change it over?
Right.
Is it an easy process? Like what's it going to cost? Like all of that stuff is like very unknown. So even just being able to have that is like...
I bet you the physician community's a freaking pill. Like they're just a bunch of tunas.
Well, that's the problem.
Like do you have to say, hi, are you taking transgender patients? Like, do you have to do that with then deal with their garbage?
I haven't, and that's actually a good question because I probably should. Because unfortunately there are like a lot of the physicians or whatever, or family doctors I've found at least, are part of the older generation. So what happens if I go in there and I start talking about my transition and everything and they're against it?
Right.
So are they going to recommend me for psych eval? Like, are they going to sign off on me getting testosterone? Like, that's a huge problem. And
it's almost like a cannabis physician at the start,
yeah. Like, exactly. Eggs still, which is a problem. So, like, my new app will actually close the gap in that there will be trans-friendly family doctors. There will be trans-friendly therapists and stuff like that. And again, like I said, it's based on your comfortability. If you want to go in person, you can do that. If you're just comfortable doing it remotely, some people are still really afraid of COVID, you can do it remotely. But we are trying to close that gap on like people, especially with people with mental illness, because it's terrible. Like even just to get on the wait list to get a therapist for free or even scaled based on income, it's a process and it's killing people. Like the suicide rate skyrocketed through COVID. Screen time went up, suicide rates went up, everything went up. So it's like, how do you manage that? So we're helping.
Tell us a little bit more about your app, because like, you know, I was talking to a guy, because I'm an app builder too, and I was talking to a gentleman, and he, same thing that you're saying about like
Wait, I have to interrupt you.
Okay.
Are you a gentleman?
I would always be a gentleman.
Okay, continue. It's like I just like the word gentleman and do.
No, but I was
okay, go on. Yes, go on.
Yeah, but I was talking about the guy.
No, I know. I didn't. Oh, I didn't mean how you're addressing Whitney. Ryan.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, frig.
Wrong, Jackie.
Go on.
Okay. Jackie sometimes...
It happens.
Jackie,
It happens.
the queen of cannabis, sometimes identifies as cannabis.
You know what? All the cannabis she smokes, I'm surprised she hasn't identified
Sometimes
sooner.
she's just a beautiful
just a beautiful aura of smoke.
bud.
I wasn't going to say flower. I was just going to go with like a fog of smoke.
Right.
Tell us about this gentleman you were talking to.
Okay. We're getting into the business of the app world, okay, Jackie? Mm-hmm. So he was... his clients have gone up. So he's like a counselor. You know, he does stuff for... you know, at homeless shelters, missions, but then he has his own like private practice where he takes in clients for counseling. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to make an app where, so what I'm asking is, will people be able to like go on the app and then actually, you know, the video come on with the okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
It's also like figuring out how we want it to work for the user, right? So like, say example, it's a Saturday night and I'm having a wicked, like hella bad night.
Yep.
And I just want to talk to someone. So you will be able to go on and either choose if you want to talk to someone like right now, if there's someone available, or if you want to schedule a time with someone. It also goes and allows you to choose the person that you want to talk to. So, for example, someone like me probably wouldn't choose like a 70-year-old white man to talk to.
Right.
I'd want to talk to someone that's like LGBTQ friendly or trans friendly and stuff like that. So there will be based on categories depending on what you want. I always I've ran through therapists before. It has to be a good fit for both. I have to feel comfortable sharing with you, and then you have to be comfortable treating me as a patient for who I am.
But
so,
the people on there, the counselors or the doctors, like, so are they getting paid, or how does it work?
Oh, absolutely. So
Okay.
it is. It's going to be based on scale as well. So there will be some that will do it pro bono. There will be some that you have to pay hourly. There will be some based on scale. The overall goal, though, is to make mental health friendly and also affordable. So that's what our whole goal is. At the beginning, yes, there will be a pay structure involved. Eventually, I hope that a lot more will do it pro bono, because unfortunately, like, there is a huge part of our country that can't afford, you know, proper Medicare or proper health. So the idea is to eventually make it more affordable.
I don't know. Well, we're talking about transgender and mental health. Like, I'm going to come at this as my 70-plus-year-old mother right now. Is transgender a mental health issue? Like, see, that's what I know during transition and, well, before, during, and after, you would need support and hope that you have that support there, whether a team of doctors, physicians, psychologists, whatever it is that you need. But is transgender a mental health? Because my mom would say... like they're just cross-dressed. All those guys cross-dressing and now they're cutting off their wieners type thing. Like, right? Like, is that a mental health issue? Oh yeah, my mom's a real gem.
No, I don't think it's a mental health issue. I think that people that are trapped in different skin obviously feel a lot more dysmorphia, uncomfortability with the shell that they present. I've done enough ayahuasca and I've done enough DMT and stuff like that to know that, like, we're all just vessels. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what skin you're put in, it doesn't matter what color you are, what religion you are, we're all still humans and we still have a soul. So I don't think that it's a mental disorder. I think that coping with the fact that you're born into a different body than what you should be requires a lot more mental support. I wouldn't say that it's a disorder. I would say that, yeah, there is that support that's needed. And I think that goes with anybody in this current climate, whether you're trans, whether you're gay, whether you're straight or whatever. Everybody's got shit.
Do you know that would you know, when you have like a Filipino cousin and you meet someone Filipino and you go, hey, do you know my cousin so-and-so? You know that, right? Okay. So I was going to say, do you know if the gay community, is there an upswing, or are they coming out as transgender? Is there a big, do you know what the movement, personally, have you seen a lot of your gay friends or family members or whatever transitioning now? They're no longer they're not gay, they're transgender.
I think that now is a lot, earlier before it was harder for people to come out. And there are a bunch of people that paved the way for it. But I do think that it's always been there. I just think that it wasn't as much socially progressive or understanding, and a lot of people just weren't talking about it, it's just something that you didn't want to talk about because you were afraid. And another important reason why I'm doing this is so people know that you are loved, you are supported. There are a lot of people out there that are willing to help, all of this stuff. So I think it's really important to recognize, you only have one life to live, and live it authentically, live it you, as Jackie would say. But it's important. It's important to, regardless of what friends say, regardless of what people say, family, business stuff, whatever.
What does family say?
Family is not so accepting. But again, it feels like you're almost coming out again. I came out, they weren't exactly accepting at the beginning. They thought it was a phase and everything.
Oh, God. And now Ryan is not anymore.
Yeah, so it's been a challenge for them.
It's always something.
It's been a challenge for them. I feel like it will be a continuous challenge. It's hard, right? They had a daughter for 33 years, and now they're going to have a son. So it's a lot for them to handle, which I understand. I'm willing to be more patient than I was when I first came out. I lost my family for a bit. I got them back. We have a great relationship now, and then this is happening. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of concern. It upset them. But at the same time, though, again, it's my life and it's my journey. So I could either appease them and not do what I want to do and, be someone that I'm not, or I could just live authentically, be me, and be happy. So that to me was a no-brainer.
How does it affect your work life? When you're going through these things, is it distraction to work, or is it?
Not at all.
No.
I think that now more than any, I have a clear vision of what I want to build, what I want to do, and how I can help the world. I always said I was going to change the world, even as a kid.
Right.
And I'm still on that mission. I'm still doing it. So it is a distraction. Yes.
I'm not talking about now, because now you're clear where you want to be. But when you were non-binary and you're going through, where do I want to end up? How was that?
Yeah, it was confusing as fuck.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it was
yeah, no, it was super confusing because there's obviously I was a good looking girl, so
where's the bomb? Yeah.
So there was obviously the pressure of being oh, am I not going to be liked? Am I
Right.
not going to be accepted? Am I going to feel awkward stepping into a room?
Right.
And the more I started transitioning, the less I cared. And even now, it's been a slow process of me transitioning online, for example. I feel like it's only happened recently.
Good post last night.
Oh, thank you.
But so did the ayahuasca, and I don't know if you did the toad and that psychedelic.
I haven't done the toad, but that's...
I don't know if you did the toad. I thought he said, I don't know if you took a toe.
I took the toad, Derek.
What's doing the toad?
No, but
No, it's
is that the DMT or something?
Yeah,
talks
so
about.
it's venom essentially on a frog that you ingest, and it just essentially
Right,
blows your
and
mind.
Mike Tyson always talks about it.
Oh, right, the
And
toad.
what he talks about is it's like an ego death. So I'm wondering if the psychedelics helped you, because you're saying, the more you got into your skin of, what
We
you
need
wanted
that.
to be, then you didn't care about what other people thought of stuff. And that's the same sort of thing when you take those psychedelics, you kill your ego, and then you're not thinking about, you're not so
Perception.
conceited or thinking about.
Derek, do I need to lick a toad?
I think you do.
So
I will lick a toad with
Look at
you.
Oh, let's
thinking
go
about
lick
it.
toads. I'm thinking about it. He's scared of everything.
Oh my God. Bring it on. Send me to an interdimensional world any day.
Is this all very empowering? Like, I know there's this nervousness or this acceptance and uncomfortableness. I mean, you're a pretty confident person, and you do have an air when you come into a room before, during, and now, like, you know what I mean? So is this intimidating, empowering? Like, how do you feel?
I would say empowering, because if I have a platform like this that I can actually talk about it and get people talking about it, maybe more people would be comfortable to come out. Like, for me, coming out was really difficult because of my family life. Like, I'm very close with them. I see them all the time and stuff like that. So, like, I feel like that was something that, like, held me back from doing it for a long time. But at the same time, though, like, I know they're going to come around eventually. Like, they love me through and through. Anyone can tell you that. But yeah, that was a huge thing. It's like, I was scared.
You don't want to hurt them too.
No. And
naturally, you're like, okay, yeah.
It was like, I was like, I don't want to embarrass you, because they are conservative. They were religious. They're not now. But a lot of things fell into factor. And like, my biggest thing is like, I don't want to upset them. But but again, like.
But then you got to live your life.
Yeah,
and you gotta,
like I don't want to disrupt my life or like be someone that I'm not, because I feel like I've always said in my businesses or any interviews I've done that I've always tend to live my life authentically. So that's what was really important as any is like, now is the time for them to just get the fuck over it.
Right.
But it's going to take time, and I know it will. But at the same time, though, like, they have to understand that it's also a self-discovery and a journey for me. And a lot of people aren't nice. Like, a lot of people aren't nice.
Just aren't nice.
No, and like, and then you put us in this industry where people tend
Or
to
even worse.
or even worse. Like, you know, from a medical standpoint or whatever, cannabis is supposed to save and
heal
and help you.
Empathetic,
but like, some
community.
of the biggest stoners I know are the biggest assholes. So it's like, it's like being able to just crash through everything and just not care and be me and like ask me a question. I'm not gonna hate you for it. I'm not gonna tell you to do your own research.
What'd you do with all of Whitney's clothes?
My girlfriend has them now.
Just wondering.
The suits I kept.
It's nice ass suits.
Yeah, the suits I kept, but like in terms of like my more feminine clothing or whatever, I don't wear crop tops. Never did anyway.
Right.
But yeah, like all of my feminine clothes are with my girlfriend. She's great. Love her to
In
pieces.
business, has anything? So as far as like HighHaven, and you had the MyBud platform and stuff, did you have any at transitioning to Ryan? Was there any business troubles or anyone that was like, okay, wait, this is too much for me. What's going on here?
I'll be honest, like I'm taking a slower motion of going through my business. Like when I was gay, for example, like I didn't walk into a meeting and I'm like, hi, I'm Whitney, I'm gay.
Right. Who cares?
I think that's weird. Like I'm like, hey, Doug, like, did you fuck your wife last night?
Yeah, it's so
just
weird.
Doesn't happen. So I've taken a private route to my transition. I don't post a lot of stuff. I don't activate. Like I don't do that. I think every journey is different, and I think if you want to, you know, blast yourself as this, like go ahead. Mine has been more of a private journey, and I feel like even with our industry or whatever, it's going to be a slow process even entering that. But I mean, like on social media now, like I've changed my name to everything. Like I'm open to asking. Like so many people in the past like 2 weeks have asked me so many questions, and I'm happy to talk about it, because if you don't, then that's when prejudice comes. That's when, you know, the anger comes. That's when the frustration and talking behind your back comes. That's when all of that stuff comes, and then you find out and it's hurtful. So I'd rather people just ask me
And address it
and
right away.
address it. Like, don't be scared. I'm not going to bite you.
Especially if you're friends and you have a relationship with people. Why are you not, right? That's what I just don't. When I hear things, I'm like, why don't you just ask them? Like, why are we whispering about this? And ask them.
Pretty much every trans friend that I've had has been bombarded with questions from me, because I'm curious. I'm curious about their journey, what they're feeling, how, you know, their family or their work has like progressed.
Will you do the surgery?
I'm getting top surgery 100%.
100%.
100%.
So 100% top surgery is bottom surgery.
Yeah, that's out for me.
Out forever or out today?
No, out forever. I've seen some of those surgeries and just
Where do I see some of those surgeries?
Google.
I'll Google that.
But they're pretty terrifying and
Really?
they're pretty invasive. Like they take a piece of your tendon in your leg and essentially create a penis with like your skin that you naturally have down there. So like, man, if I was gonna get a dick, like I'd want a big hunkin' dick. You know, like I don't want like
Vegas strap-ons are pretty nice.
Yeah, like I'm tiny, man. Like I don't want no short dick.
He's like, oh, we have to put a warning before this one, don't we? And it's got nothing to do with Ryan and everything to do with me. Me.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
like
queen of cannabis.
Yeah, like I don't know. It just seems really invasive and like
Yeah.
some of
And
the,
what if something
like,
went wrong?
or like what if it doesn't work and then I just have
That's what I
have a
mean.
limp.
Right. Right
gotta
now
live.
you can enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
And
then
welcome to the club of every other white 50-year-old plus man. Just kidding.
Yeah, then what happens? Yeah.
Just kidding. You get some nice dick out there.
Oh my god.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Not for me.
I love making Derek uncomfortable.
He's so uncomfortable.
See, but he's not because he's just joking because the more we do this and the more we're exposed,
Yeah.
and I think laughter and curiosity and kindness, it's super healthy. These conversations are uncomfortable, but they're not hateful or hurtful.
No, not
We're
at all.
No, it's just uncomfortable because you don't want to say the wrong thing. For
sure.
And then
Like I
offend
did
somebody.
twice.
But but the thing is like when you're doing this process and everything, it is a learning discovery, right?
Right.
So like I don't feel like, at least my own personal journey, I don't feel like there's any wrong questions. Like I'd rather
Yeah, but
people-
you're reasonable. There's some people that are,
For the most part.
for the most part.
you know. So there's some people that just aren't reasonable, and it's like, you know, cancel culture and like where
Yeah,
it's
that's
at.
a
It's
huge
just,
thing.
it's like you could be totally understanding, but I could say something, and then they're like, that guy's an asshole. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
screw that guy. Why doesn't he know
Totally.
that? But meanwhile, it's like,
Meanwhile, we're having
everybody
business
here
meetings.
is
We're-
fine because we're
totally cool with it. We
Yeah.
just want to be
So it's just
educated
like-
on it. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
all we were talking, like in meetings when we talk about like what should we focus on or what's, you know, buzzworthy, newsworthy, and we talk about transgender, everyone's like, oh, how do we go there? Because it's such a climate where our hand gets bit when we reach in to ask a question or when we want to know.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, we get all this like negative backlash. I'm like, we have to be able to have genuine, kind, supportive conversations on a level of like, we're friends. We're not asking you questions that can be hurtful or you clickbaity or whatever. We're asking you questions to keep this conversation going and to create a safe space.
Yeah,
And
even when we announced the conference, Ryan was one of the first people to reach out and say,
I was like, you have my full
any
support, whatever you need.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and that's so we're support to me, like kindness, is an action. I love to see people like actually inviting you to the table and wanting to
Yeah.
talk about it and then support it moving forward in businesses and things you have coming out and things that you're doing. Like I know, oh God, Black-owned business, Black entrepreneur. It's, you know, there's those stigmas and those barriers and that stuff.
Oh,
and
I
then now the
promote
trend.
that. I promote that more than
So this
anything.
community, it was such a misunderstood community. Cannabis, I mean, has been regulated, deregulated. It's prohibition, it's so misunderstood. These conversations are actually really great in this community. I think the community as a whole needs to be more welcoming to these conversations.
100%.
Because the very ground we're standing on is misunderstood and at war and at whatever. So, I mean, and the more of us from all different opinions, ideas, backgrounds, whether we agree or not, these conversations need to happen.
They're important.
Like, very important.
Especially like there's like not a lot of diversity in our space.
No.
And I think there should be like queer-owned businesses should be supported. Black-owned businesses should be supported. These are things that should be on everyone's list.
To think of how powerful you are, to think of what was going on in your mind that no one knew about and no one was supporting and well, you're building other businesses and doing platforms and just going about your daily life, having this whole other giant giant thing happening in your life and in your mind, in your heart, and in your soul while you're carrying on business as usual.
That's what I wanted to know.
This is a leader. This is
right.
about, like, I mean, very empowering and something that, you know, we talk about likes and numbers and whatever. Just getting up and doing what you do every single day is like, that's a big fucking deal. That is business. That is empowering. That is entrepreneur, whatever. Like, so at some point, I believe, as someone with mental health and all the things going on in my life, I believe at some point transgender will just be like will be part of Ryan's story, but not in the forefront and not at the platform every day. Ryan is a successful business person and a badass in business and entrepreneurial and whatever. Like right now we're talking about this part of you that I think as it goes, just like when we were talking about being gay and when you had the long blonde hair and when you first got your whatever, like it's all part of the story and the journey, but that will be a past thing that won't be in the forefront anymore because you yourself are such a successful badass. But why do we have to, you know, it won't be the focus. Right now we're having a learning conversation and we're having a whatever. But anyhow.
I don't want that part of my life to define who I am. And which is why, like, I never walked into business meetings or felt the need to tell people I'm gay.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter. What I do...
You know they're talking. Yeah, you know they're whatever.
But what I'm doing in business doesn't have anything to do with who I choose to be as a human.
Right.
Or who I am as a human. Sorry. Those are two completely different things. I can be a badass business person as a woman. I can be a badass person as a dude. It doesn't define who I am, and I don't want it to be like the whole story, like, oh, Ryan, the trans person.
Right.
Right.
No, I want people to be like, hey, Ryan, the badass business owner that is like helping the world. Like that's what I want to be perceived as. I don't want trans to be like my identifier.
Right. Do you grieve or do you have like a loss or memory for Whitney?
No, not at all. Not at all. Honestly,
wow.
like I feel like that was a huge part of who I was. Like I didn't get to choose my gender. I didn't get to choose my name. I didn't get to choose any of that. But I'm at the point in my life where I can. And I know who I am and I know what I want and I won't accept anything different. So I guarantee I'm going to lose friends over this. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
They weren't friends to begin with. They were not friends to begin with. You use the word friend too loosely.
Yeah, you do. And like there are probably like I had business associates that didn't want to deal with me when they found out I was gay. Like, I had to buy some of them out and stuff like that. I think we talked about this on the last time I was here. But, like, and I know that's probably going to happen now, but the difference is I don't care. And there's always a difference between good money and bad money, and I will always choose the good money. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have. Yeah. If it's going to be strategic for both of us, then great. If it's not, we can part ways amicably.
We don't need any more negative money anyhow. We don't need any more negative, like any of that nonsense.
I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be told what I can and cannot post on social media. I don't want to be told that I have to be... Right now. Yeah, I don't want to be told what I can and cannot do. Like, at the end of the day, like, this is my life, and, like, I'm going to live it the way that I feel happy about.
Hardest moment for you in all of this?
My parents.
That was the hardest?
Yeah, definitely.
Did they know it was coming, or did they get wind of something, or did you just go and drop it on their step?
I feel like we've had, like, from my mother, like, I've talked to her multiple times, and I feel like she's the type of woman that, like, I'll say something, and then if I don't say it again, then she'll just push it under the rug. So having to do it multiple times is kind of hurtful. Like, I keep, like, reminding her. So, like, that's been challenging and difficult, but
did they refer to you as Ryan now?
No.
Or did they refer to you as
no
the other name?
They're not comfortable calling me by my chosen name yet.
All family or just mom?
All family. So it's a work in progress. It's gonna take them time, and that's fine. I just want them to know that I love them, and I haven't changed who I am. I'm just, you know, assigning myself a new, like, my own gender. Like
where I can flourish and grow and be more successful and more healthy and happy and
and I think at the end of the day, as any parent would say, like, that's all they want for their children. So it's gonna be a process, which is fine, like it was when I came out gay, but I love them and I'm here for it.
So that was the hardest part. What was what was like the best part ever?
Cutting my hair.
Cutting your hair was the best part?
It was like this euphoric, like, holy shit. this is what I should have done a long time ago.
Have you ever cut your hair?
Me?
Yeah. You.
Like,
oh my God,
a
I
long
can't,
time ago.
I can't picture you with short hair.
Me neither.
But I'm wondering, are you secure in your
Me?
identity? Yeah.
No.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not secure in my identity.
So
That's why I'm so like, ugh, because people look at me as this blonde bimbo with fake tits and that whole thing and whatever, and they don't expect anything else. They think, and I was a sex worker. I worked at Naked News. I'm homeless, and look at how cute and how hot, all that crap. And it's really not who we gotta ask my husband.
You want to come out today, Jackie?
I don't know. I mean, I've had relationships with women throughout my life, and those are things that I have kept offline and very personal and private.
No, because Ryan was saying that the best part was when he cut his hair.
I've shaved my head.
Jackie was saying that she wanted to cut her hair, and I had to forbid it.
So when I worked for Naked News, I was positioned. I had to work in Jamaica for a long time, and I have my extensions and everything. They matted together. Right. They became like dreadlocks. When I got home, when I was back to Toronto after several weeks working in Jamaica, there was nothing we could do but shave my head to like that much, and I loved it. But I was married and had children but everywhere I went, everyone just assumed I was gay. Like every bathroom, washroom, and our girls were gay women were very friendly and extra. Whereas before I was kind of like a nuisance or annoying or glittery or whatever the hell they were calling me. Then they were interested just because of the hair. Like the hair is such a representation. I'm like, really, bitch, I had to shave my head because I had dreadlocks. Like I got a husband. But I'm also 48. This is a really great conversation, and it's extremely, I feel that talking about it publicly is, I don't know if it's disrespectful or uncomfortable for my husband, that I love more than life itself, is a wonderful human. You all know him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very, this is weird.
Tell your truth.
I'm very, so... In 1994, I was the centerfold of a magazine in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And they said, like, who's your whatever? I was like, Tom Cruise. And then they're like, about your sexuality and whatever. And I put bisexual in and I remember my parents, my grandparents, my mom's sister, everyone that saw the magazine, first they got over, like, there was 70s Bush. Like, that, it was fucking 93 or 92 that it was shot in, guys. I'm always current. And I'm always in fashion and on trend. Oh, so it was on trend to have that.
Prove it.
So after after everyone got over that, then they're like, it says here that you're gay. And I never said I was gay, but at that time, bisexual was the same as gay, right? If you said, so first of all, you're in a porno magazine, which it wasn't whatever. And then it's that you're saying you're bi. So right after that, like right after the hop, I got pregnant, I got married, and I was married for 15 years since divorce from that, whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I'm hot as fuck as a woman, as a female, but I don't know, guys. And it's so odd. Sometimes I put they, them, sometimes he, she, because I'm very empowered by being a strong woman and a strong female, and I love men. Right. But sometimes
you just want to cut your hair.
Sometimes I just want to.
People don't have to put themselves in a box.
Yes.
Like,
so that's another thing. Why is my labeling? Like, I feel like I'm one of those closeted weirdos that when I'm long dead, you'll be like, she was gay.
That's why I like the term queer, because it's like a giant umbrella.
But using the term queer
is not
I feel it's disrespectful to my husband.
No.
That's all. I just feel the term queer is disrespectful to my very solid, secure
maybe
husband.
if
I love him and all his parts and every bit of him. He's inside and out. I love that man.
Right. But you could bring another woman in the bedroom for
how do you know we haven't tons of times?
Oh my!
And he doesn't get to enjoy shit, man. This is my life.
He just gets to watch and take pictures like he does when he's at the wiki.
Yeah, let's dive more into this.
See, that's another thing. It's not
It's all about Jackie. It's all about the queen.
Can this just be about
She's
Ryan
the queen
and her?
For a reason.
Yeah.
Woo. So I don't want to talk
hot in here.
Very. I don't want to talk about any of this.
We're just getting interested.
I prefer the conversations
we're not
to be about Ryan.
We're not going to push you. And
It's
we're
okay. You
you're
can
in a
come out
safe
at your
place.
own time.
Okay.
Place.
You're in a safe place here with your friends.
Like, do you know where I'm confused and weird? Like, I lived on my own from 14 to 16. I was a stripper right after that. That's that's for males' fantasies and for fun and whatever. Like, it was found that very empowering, and I used that for other things in my life, like the power I felt and to know how to manipulate and whatever. And then I don't know.
That's why no one can play games with Jackie.
No
She's been
one.
there, done that. She knows.
She's like, no, I know your intention.
Exactly. She's
I
like
got you.
she's like a not a pit bull. We have a pit bull.
We have a pit bull.
PR person. She's like
Business
the dog that smells the
drugs at the
exactly. She can sniff out any kind
I
of
can
bullshit.
smell
Kind of
intention or
bullshit.
bullshit,
Yeah,
which is
bullshit.
why I have a love-hate with most people. That's why my personal life is extremely private, but my public persona, I'm just like, because why can't we just tell the truth? Like, why can't we just be honest? It fucking
All right,
feels
tell it, Jackie.
It feels a lot better, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like
What should I tell?
like a weight.
That's why when I say I identify as a unicorn, I'm not being like some of the regulatory, the compliance officers, the lawyers, the people with the sensible shoes, that those ladies that just love to hate on me. I don't want to identify as anything for them. I don't think I have to say anything.
have to.
I just keep going and doing what I'm doing. But
Are you non-binary?
I don't know if I'm non-binary because I've been married. Like, I'm on my second marriage to a man, and
But you could enjoy the companionship with a man, and
But I have like 2 or 3 relationships with women that I'm very, very close to, but they're extremely, like, they're the breadwinners, they own businesses, they drive their
you're
own.
like a strong woman.
Yeah, like, I don't relate to, and I mean, I love kids and little fluffy things and stuff. I love pink and I love glitter, but I also, like, I have no problem
So,
whipping my
let
gun
me
out of the
hypothetically-
nightstand
Yeah,
and taking
like,
care of business.
You're kind of a dude.
I have
too.
no problem taking care of business, Derek.
hypothetically speaking, if you weren't with Drew
Yeah?
and Ryan wasn't with
Sonia.
Sonia,
Sonia. Ryan is
wasn't
too
with
young.
Sonia. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But-
I have that thing too. I never go younger.
Right,
I always
right,
go
right.
older.
You seen where I was going there,
But see, I also always go older
Right.
as a power play. I don't know. I'm very.
There's a lot to unpack here.
yeah.
I'm also just during COVID found out I am bipolar and I'm on all kinds of meds for that. I'm not on it like lithium and all the other like that because I'm a creative person as well. I don't want to put that to
It, like,
sleep.
levels-
Yeah, I don't want to level that.
I've been on it.
And the crazy that keeps me doing what I do and being able to do the things I do, and also the crazy that keeps me navigating the world around us because people are not nice. I don't want to be on those things. I can't be on too many mood stabilizers because then I'm not the sniffer, the bull. I don't.
Right.
I don't want how I've succeeded through life. I don't want to dull that gut feeling and those things. Like, I
Yeah,
need
you're
to
just
keep
gonna be
those
sitting there
sharp.
drooling.
Exactly. I need to keep this
Right.
stuff sharp until I check out. And I remember having this conversation with Tijan of Earth Kiss Sky.
Yeah.
I remember saying to her that we're not all supposed to live to 90. And we're not all supposed to just get married, have kids, and have a white picket fence. And, I also don't like when people are like sticking up or sort of defending or trying to throw someone under the bus and they like character assassinate them. I don't care
like that.
if you did this and this. We're talking about this. I don't care who Ryan is in the bedroom or in it. I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't. I think it's crazy how I get so many messages about my own personal sexuality, my past, the stuff at Naked News, the stuff, whatever. I think that's cheap and easy. Even, this is going to be a touchy one.
Okay.
I know we've had this conversation, and this is also going to come into transgender and gay people, the black conversations and whatever. It's cheap and easy to just say, oh, you overlooked me because I'm whatever. You know what I mean? Be your best self every damn day, and I promise the support, it will, or reach out to me because you'll get the support and you get the whatever. Like, I don't like the...
What's your email?
give them yours. Like, I think a lot of us, the labels and the stigmas and whatever are kind of a victim mentality. We get to hide under those things. And I don't want to do that. I don't care what you call me. I don't care what you're saying behind. I don't care. Like you were saying, I'm confident in who I am. I just don't know who I am. Get it?
Yeah, but you know who you are. You don't have to tell anyone who you are because you know who you are. And that's kind of the
Like
mentality.
I look up to Dolly Parton and Tony Soprano. If someone said, who are you or whatever, it's Dolly Parton and Tony Soprano every day. So yes, I wear wigs and lots of makeup, but don't fuck with me, guys. Please
I would
don't.
never.
And I know how cute you all think social media is. Can you stop? Because it's brewing.
Even some of the stuff that people say to you on social media too, it's like, do you not have better things to do to fill out your day?
They don't.
What are you doing?
Using my sexuality, using my whatever.
And I think that's disgusting.
So
because
cheap.
you know what?
That's cheap and
Sexuality
easy.
is something that should be celebrated.
Shouldn't it?
We're all sexual creatures. We're all sexual beings, regardless of what vessel you are in or which vessel you want to be in. It doesn't matter. We're still human at the end of the day.
So, okay, we're at O Cannabis. We're doing our whatever. It's time to go pee. Where do you go?
Probably the men's. It has the shortest line. Always.
Always the shortest line.
Always the shortest line. We were talking about this
I'll
earlier.
go with you.
I would choose the men's. Women bathrooms are gross.
They are.
I feel like, I don't know if it's just because we sit on the toilet seat or like what, but
Or
like
just pigs.
it's just gross in there. Like I
gross.
prefer the male washrooms.
I know personally from the gym, my husband runs gyms. He says all the time, the women's washrooms are disgusting.
Gross, man. Like what are we doing?
Elaborate
in there?
on that.
Like,
So what's going on there?
what's happening?
I don't know, just a bunch of pigs.
I've been in some washrooms that literally just like a finger painting, like all in there. And I'm like, what are you doing here?
So if you go to the hospital for a toothache, a headache, whatever, say you're at the hospital, do you have to say, I'm transgender? I did a, like for medical that you don't have to?
No.
Like, so there will become a time where it just is, you're just Ryan.
My thing is like, being gay used to be a hot button topic, you know, like coming out was like, oh, wow, like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like trans has like slowly taken that over. Like now nobody gives a shit if you're gay.
Right.
Like nobody cares.
It's who you have sex with. Isn't that what gay means?
yeah,
Like,
and
why would I care who you have sex with?
But so many people were hung up on that for the longest time. And I feel like trans has now taken that place. And eventually, like, we will get to the point where that's just normal. And the thing is like a lot of the older generations are the ones that are having the issues with it. Like your parents, my grandparents, whatever. But like,
But they have issues with everything.
Everything.
Exactly.
They're still watching
Like-
Sanford and Son.
Yeah,
they're still pissed
hate-
about black people.
Exactly.
It's about cannabis.
Yeah. So like, it's like the more
They
that
are
we
gonna
see
die,
that,
and then
yeah. Unfortunately, like love you, Nan Pop, but like eventually they're gonna die, and we're gonna see a huge paradigm shift
Right.
in like how people talk to each other, how we accept each other. You know that diversity is a beneficial thing for everyone, whether it's your color of your skin, your religion, your sexual orientation. I feel like we're moving towards that where we're like as a generation are a lot more accepting, and like that old generation where it was stuck in their ways are like slowly starting to fade out.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I am here for that.
What are you thinking? Are you thinking what you're thinking? What are you thinking?
you want to know what I'm really thinking?
Don't
it is.
hit me with anything.
Okay, well then.
What? Okay, what were you thinking?
I was thinking about MyHealth. I was thinking about the app.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? How much money that Ryan's gonna make from this
Yeah.
app because it's needed.
It's not about the money though. It's honestly about the fact that I've struggled so hard to have a family doctor, to keep a family doctor. Like my doctor retired. He was prescribing a plethora of, antidepressants, Percocet, you name it.
Molly
and then
Percocet.
yeah, and then he just cut and then he retired. But like the thing is like I never took them. But if I did for the past 3 years, like I would need a plan. I would need, methadone or some kind of like
That would be sad.
What is
like some kind of like
what is the protocol? So I go to my doctor and say, I'd like to transition. I don't know where to go. Like I am obviously in the wrong body. Help.
Yeah, but
what
okay,
happens? Like, what meds do they give you?
Oh, okay.
Oh, testosterone.
That's it.
Yeah, well, to start or whatever, like you take testosterone, you start to build up your natural immunity with it. Your estrogen levels kind of go lower. You grow facial hair.
Or you just get old and you grow all kinds of facial hair.
Oh my god! But there are a lot of things that happen when you start to take these things. But like even for myself personally, like it's been difficult because even just trying to find that family doctor is like the first step.
Yeah, but it's hard to find a family doctor no matter what right now.
100%.
True.
But then
And
you have
there's
to find,
even like say, especially when COVID was here, say you have an ailment, they're like, sorry, you can't come into the office.
Yeah,
So
so, like-
it's very, the healthcare system. I even heard a commercial about nurses yesterday that it's, they've neglected the program. And so I think it's like, your story is about, transitioning and why you wanted to make that app, but I think it's going to help so many more people.
I agree.
Like, it's not just about, like, I think it's like
during Whitney's transition, he saw what was needed for the community as a whole. Like, he saw where the things were lacking for all patients and for all people. Yeah, exactly.
Straight people too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, that's what I want to talk about a little bit about, is not in the angle of transgender, but like how that app. Anyone. Yes, that's what I want to talk about, because that's where I see like that it's needed.
So there
where he sees the money.
We did a ton of market. We did a ton of market research for this.
Listen, okay, you're right, Jackie. That's what we're talking about.
Sorry, Ryan.
Let's talk a little bit about the money. We've talked about, you know.
This is where you get.
Let's figure this out.
This is where you get home. So this is where Derek gets turned on.
We did a lot of market
I identify as money.
I identify as money. I would like to be. My pronouns are money.
Yes. Continue, Ryan.
Him money.
So we did like obviously a lot of market research during COVID for all of this or whatever. Like I think it's something like 83% of Canadians actually don't have a family physician.
I don't have one.
Exactly. Do you have one?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you had your family physician for?
She has been mine for 11 years. She's been Drew's for 30.
Oh my God. Hold on.
So I had one when I was in Brantford, but now
she's almost retired.
I'm in London. I don't have one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I still have the one here, but not there.
It's difficult, right?
Yeah,
so
it's difficult.
We want to be able. So
do you have a family doctor?
No, that's
the one that retired.
That's the problem.
Right. That's the one that retired.
So so like any time that you need a reference or a referral to get an X-ray or anything, you usually have to go through a family physician.
Right.
So 83% of Canadians currently do not have a family physician, which is skyrocketing. That's a lot of people. But then think about the factor of like how many people actually need or want therapy. You need to have a referral in order to get on a wait list for therapy.
To get it for free.
Yeah, unless you have like $250.
But I do have $250 an hour, and I can't get a therapist.
Yeah, and it's hard.
I can get you one.
Because it also depends on what you want to talk about. Like you have to feel comfortable with your physician, or your therapist. So like, for example, like at one point I tried 13 different therapists before I found one that I liked, that I clicked with. Each time, most of them at least, charged me a fee for consulting. So I paid all of that fees. They weren't the right fit. I didn't get that money back.
Right.
And then I eventually had to find one that I was like, okay, yeah, I feel comfortable talking to you. But yeah, like if I'm slapped with a therapist or whatever and I don't vibe with them or I don't like their advice or I don't feel comfortable talking to them, then I'm not going to open up and I'm not going to get what I need out of therapy.
Right.
So this app will allow you to go through their profiles, see what they're like prevalent in, whether it's like anxiety, depression, trans, gay, whatever you want. And you can feel comfortable knowing that when you book an appointment with that person, you've read their bio, you know what they're about, and then you can have a very much more open conversation than you just picking up the phone and being like, hey, you know, like I'm this, this, and this, I'm looking for a therapist, like do you have anyone? Like it's it's more geared to the user to find what's comfortable for you.
It's kind of like what's that dating app where the women pick the men? Bumble. It's kind of like Bumble.
Yeah.
Were you on Bumble once upon a time?
I have never been on a dating site.
Like not Tinder or anything?
No.
What's the gay one? Grindr?
Is that the gay one?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just like the name so much. Grindr. I'm such a perv.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So what about physicians? So you can find therapists on the app, but what if I have an infected
wiener? The head of your wiener needs a little help.
Oh, God.
I had it, Jackie. Is that where
hangnail?
Is that where
hangnail, because you're looking at your hand.
Is that where your mind is always at?
That's always where her mind's at.
Okay. I had a hangnail.
My purse, it's so full of balls. Go on.
I had a hangnail, and it was infected. And so I had to go, and get antibiotics and stuff. Like, could I do that on here?
Yeah,
so you take a week off.
Listen, Jackie, I had to get a tetanus shot
like
after
a really
it.
bad hangnail.
It was
I had to get
line.
Yeah.
The line was going. A red line was going up. It was just a hangnail. The red line was.
They got infected or something.
I could have lost my whole hand. This is serious business, okay? People don't know.
I love men.
My finger was double the size. I had to drain it.
Bleed
Then when
for
I
like
drained
7 days a month.
there was a red line going up here. I could have got an infection, blood infection.
Almost lost his hand.
Yeah.
This is his hand where he drops the hammer. Like, this is his hand.
Yeah.
Okay, no offense. So, okay, go back to your story.
Okay.
You needed a physician for the
So
hangnail
can I
infection.
get a physician? Because there's apps like, for instance, Maple. I don't know.
Maple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're getting where I'm going here.
You sent it to me and I signed up.
Okay, see? Yes. Because this is the whole thing, right? For especially like people like the Queen of Cannabis. She's very busy, right? So if she can spend $49 to get it instant instead of having to go sit
That's what
in
Maple is.
Right.
No,
instead of,
yeah. So
you're gonna do that too, right?
Our
Okay,
app.
good.
So if you
love
need
it.
like immediate like attention or whatever, obviously we recommend.
Well, of
dialing
course,
911
yes.
first, but like
There's
if
some
there's
things you
something
can't
that like
diagnose.
you don't want to wait for
Yes.
an appointment or whatever,
Right.
you can virtually talk to a doctor.
And then boom, they
Yeah.
can then and then goes
Is there
to
a
the
monthly
pharmacy.
fee for this? Is there
Yeah.
no.
No, there's no monthly fee for
Paper
Monthly
go?
fee. It's pay per go for in terms of like scale and therapist.
Is
or whatever,
OHIP
but,
covered by?
We're working with OHIP now.
Ooh.
That's a big deal. That would be different than Maple.
Now we're talking.
Everything is pay as you play on Maple. It's you pay
Yeah.
monthly plus you pay additional.
I
for
just
this
pay
stuff.
one time.
sounds so
$49. I
dirty.
don't have to mess around. I get what I want. Like I
Yeah.
just listen, I know what I want and I just want it now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
we're
not
the
trying to
age of
sit there.
instant
You think I want to sit
gratification.
there for 3 hours in the waiting room? There's
Hell
sick
no.
people around me. Then I
No.
finally get there. Like, come on. I just
I
want
always
to pay
walk
my
out of
$50 to get what I
hospitals
want.
More sick than when I went. in.
Right.
I always
anyone else?
leave. Yeah, I
called
just
the
leave.
death house for a
I
reason.
have been here long
Seriously.
enough.
Like who wants
Yeah.
who wants to wait 7 hours
I
for
don't.
an X-ray?
I want it now.
When you go, that's so me. When I go to the hospital, doctor, or whatever,
Right.
I usually leave before I'm served.
Exactly.
Like I'm
Everyone
not.
does.
I'm busy.
I'm busy.
I'll just
Right.
bleed out in your parking lot. Never
Okay.
mind. I'm just like whatever. Anyhow, this is about Ryan.
Okay, so
So, like, what else? Do you have more? You're like, oh, we should have asked this. We should have asked that. Do you have?
I'm more intrigued about the
Ryan as
My-
a person is pretty cool, but this
he's
whole,
into MyHealth.
Yes, I'm into
yeah,
MyHealth.
because there's money in MyHealth.
No, well, it's a good idea.
It's a
and,
great idea.
It's something that I've even thought about.
It's
like,
definitely
not for me.
needed.
Like I don't have the bandwidth for it. Okay,
There's a lot of bandwidth for
But
it.
when I was
Yeah.
freaking out, he introduced me to Maple. I was like,
Right.
I can't get any. Like, oh my god, they're closed and they're not accepting patients. And this guy, they're so backed up. And my doctor's always doing stuff with seniors, so like her office was closed to all this other stuff. And he's like, you should check out Maple. I'm like, I got a lot to unpack at Maple. You like you can get your head shrunk. That's what I call it, and your colonoscopy and your whatever. Like you got it all at Maple.
Yeah, and that's
can
where
we
the
have
future's
that?
going to be,
Yeah,
and that's
so
why
we're
yeah.
not only just focusing on therapists and like physicians or whatever. Anyone that does meditation, anyone that does breath work, we're gonna have a separate area.
fitness.
Yeah, we're actually gonna have an.
Oh, you don't like that?
No.
We're actually gonna have another area too that just
Fitness
has
in my
people
mouth.
that upload courses too.
Sorry,
Fitness in my mouth.
sorry, Ryan.
No,
Continue.
but we're gonna have a whole section of the places that people can upload courses. So say you're a person that does breath work, you can upload a course, you can educate people based on that. Or if I want to find like a natural path, you can do that on there. It's not just going to be like family physicians, therapists, virtual therapists.
Right.
It's going to be a whole culmination of all of these different things that people require.
Totally needed, and especially
needed.
now, like a friend of mine that is a surgeon, and I was like, can we get a rec for this? He's like, do you know how backlogged we are for just the simplest of things, like a blood thing? No, like
Yeah.
even us. And he's a private clinic, and a private, he's like, we're backlog swamped. We can't get, and we can't get the imaging and the things we need either.
I feel like COVID.
Oh.
COVID did a lot of that. Like I'm waiting on another surgery for my shoulder. That got pushed back. Even
This
though
will be your third or fourth.
third, even though I'm paying for it. Like I'm paying for this surgery. I've already
it's
put a
still-
down payment on it. Down payment, I would call it, because it's so freaking expensive.
get-
But yeah, my shoulder fixed, and like even that's gotten pushed back. Let alone, I don't even want to know how long of date I'm gonna have to face to get top surgery. So like, but that's a big thing too. Even I keep coming back to this. Even for the trans community, is like body dysmorphia. Like there's suicide rates during COVID skyrocketed for just the average person.
Yeah.
It doubled with trans people.
I definitely have body dysmorphia. Definitely.
What's that mean?
It means you're not comfortable like with your own body, the way it looks, the way it feels, like how you look at yourself.
And knowing, like I know I look good, But I'm constantly researching and experimenting with like surgeries and different looks and different whatever, like constantly. You probably couldn't go that far in my body where there's not some sort of scar, some sort of like I have this big dent in the end of my nose, compound W, it gets rid of warts. I had a pimple on my nose in grade 9, so I poured the bottle of compound W on it, hoping the next day it would be gone, and it corroded my nose. Like, look at his face. He's like, what? How stupid is that? How ridiculous. But that's where I'm at. Like, I'm very, and this has been going on since I was like 9 or 10 years old, though.
Society is telling us that blemishes are terrible, that
like
hair
nuts.
is terrible,
like,
that all of this stuff is terrible. It's like,
I've had 4 implant surgeries.
Why? But
4.
Wow,
That's like,
really? 4?
I've had 4. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I've had 4 breast augmentations. And
they're to make them bigger?
Bigger, smaller, in front of the muscle, behind the muscle.
Oh my God.
All kinds of, yes. Tummy tuck, lipo, every other teeth whitening, lashes, everything. Chin implant, cheek injections.
Chin implant, what is that?
Yeah, do they give you a new chin?
Just, like stuff in my chin,
So
my
what is
cheeks.
they put in there?
Silicone.
Okay.
I don't want to see his face. Okay, I don't know.
Is there like a dead person's bone in
That's
you?
so
Like,
just
I'm
on the
curious.
drive here, I said to my son, I have to go get more hair right away because I buy Russian hair. And that's right. I'm like, I need to double up or triple up because Russian is, anyhow, it's a long, and my son turns to me and goes, that's someone else's hair on your head? I'm like, you thought it was mine? He's like, well, I didn't think it was real. I'm like, it's real.
You pay a lot for your hair.
He's like, I don't understand why you would do that, Mom. I'm like, I can't grow my hair long and I don't have long. Like I can't because I have black hair. I have jet black hair and to bleach it and do the whole thing. So he didn't understand that was real hair and the process of it and the whole thing.
It's a long process.
Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking I might have body dysmorphia.
Why don't you grow dreadlocks?
She already did.
I did, and it wasn't a good look. My head
She had
gets
to shave
so
her head.
itchy because I'm also with I have some issues picking. Like picking it's actually an anxiety and
it's part of anxiety. Yeah.
part of body dysmorphia.
scratch.
Things. Yeah, like I
scratch.
So the dreadlocks didn't work for me because I was just constantly like, it didn't work.
Itchy.
Very. So anyhow, can we make this more about you? I know I said that 3 times already. But
I was really enjoying the conversation.
we have a cake for Ryan. I want this all to be about Ryan. And what is the app called again?
MyHealth.
MyHealth, formerly MyBud.
Yep.
MyBud doesn't exist anymore.
No,
so it's that platform.
We completely took down that platform. We took all of our content that was inside it, and we will be uploading it to our new platform because I think it's also really important when it's a healthcare app to also touch on not just the medical side, but also the cannabis, psychedelics, and everything. Psychedelics is like more and more prominent in our industry too, and not a lot of people know about dosage or what's right for them or what the side effects could be or whatever. So I think it's really important to also educate on that.
Would you be considered an expert in that?
I wouldn't go
would you do
far.
panels and stuff?
Oh, I would do panels 100%. Like I've definitely done enough psychedelics.
I'm just throwing that out there for more diversity on some panels.
Yeah, but we're not doing psychedelics this year.
Oh, right, we're not this year.
Yeah, but like I think it's important to also have all of the culminations of healthcare. And there is like cannabis saved my life. We all know that. Psychedelics changed my life. We all know that. So I think it's important as people progress into the psychedelic space that they're aware of like proper dosage and everything. It's the thing that we lacked with cannabis when it first came out. People were doing edibles and being like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die and panicking and stuff like that versus like if and you educate yourself on anything, then you have like the understanding to go into it with the right mind. So I think that's important as we face like this new area, to have the education and stuff like that. To support it.
Is there
Education is a good thing.
Very. I only realize that
That's
now in my
phase.
40s that education is a good
Knowledge
thing.
is power.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Okay. So say,
Oh God.
is there a book? Like, so I'm thinking I'm transgender. Where do I go now? Like, is that, no, I don't meaning not me personally, everyone, just like that thought. So I'm thinking that is there a book or is there an outreach or what is someone's first move? Like, is it Drew Paul's drag race or like what?
That's a good question.
Like, what is your first?
That's
like,
a good question.
For real, what is your
someone,
first? Just
thinking
because you're
that they
thinking
wanna
it.
Yeah.
Especially now
support,
while the
yeah.
world is
That's a good
unstable and
question.
things are happening and people are confused about things. Like, so I'm sure there's a lot of like, what happens? What'd you do? What was your first, like, where did
My
you go?
first thing was like Google. Like,
Oh, you
like
Google.
I was just like, like this might be something that I am or whatever. And but there's not a lot of like support
Were you always gay? Did you date men?
I did date men. They were a mistake.
Right.
Sorry.
They usually are.
Sorry, but no.
Usually mistakes.
And I always felt like it just wasn't, like my body wasn't
It just
okay
wasn't-
with it. Like
Right.
it just felt weird.
It's like me and cooking.
Facts.
Look at
Facts.
the seriousness. I just don't feel right in the kitchen.
No.
But
I would assume Drew probably agrees with that.
yeah,
too.
exactly. He does all the cooking.
Yeah. But there wasn't a lot of outreach or resources. Like I really I'm thankful that I moved to Windsor because they actually have a really good trans clinic community. So there was a lot of different programs and stuff like that that made it a lot easier. And I'm only new into this too. So I was really thankful to find that because it's been a really positive support. Even just the questions of how do I change my name? How do I change my business documents? Do I have to get a lawyer? What is this gonna take? How do I change my name on my birth certificate?
Is any of it changed yet? Any of it?
No, so it's in the process. The whole thing is I have to get my birth certificate first.
Right.
So that's gonna take some time.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
Well, even that, and I'm adopted. So
Right.
That's gonna.
How
take some
does that
time.
even work? Because you need your mother there, otherwise you need to get court documents or something.
No, I actually just I put in her name and all of that stuff, and it was pretty easy, but it just takes time. So
Especially now.
it just
Yeah,
it sucks.
and we don't have
because
time. We want it now.
instant gratification.
Yes.
We want it now.
We want it now.
Do you think you should develop an app about getting your birth certificate now?
Just calling it. I
Some
want
sort
it
of-
now.
Yeah.
I want it now.
But you're not
How about
even-
not just your birth certificate?
Yeah,
anything.
Any
I want
ID.
it now.
Yeah.
I
want it
lost
now.
my wallet and I
want
need
it- I want it
everything
now.
Now.
because I got to go on a.
Isn't that what Skip the Dishes is? I want it now.
I don't know,
Or
but that's for
Instacart.
food.
I want it now.
Instacart's for
Jackie's on all
groceries.
the I want it now
Oh
apps.
my god.
I want to book a pedicure.
I haven't been to a grocery store in 2
I
years.
want to book a
Everything.
yeah,
Colonoscopy. No, colonic. Colonic.
food.
Makeup. I
Weed.
want someone to come to my face if you're going to jack me up. I don't want to keep going to that place. The lady goes, "You again?" No, I want.
She's mad at you.
Yeah. She's like, and then, sometimes people that have mental health issues, such as bipolar, don't realize when enough is enough. That's what she says to me all the time.
Never
serious?
enough.
Yes. I was like,
Who says that?
What is she, a mental health?
I know, the lady who does
Who
my
says-
face. She's like, I'm well aware that your mental health state, and I don't want to just keep giving you more and more and more. So it's also why I stopped calling the doctor and I stopped going for all my other appointments for
Because
other
what
things.
does she
because
do?
They're estheticians. Like,
Like,
why are
what
they
do you
get?
mean esthetician?
Oh,
What
like
does that
the needles in
Like
my face and
fillers.
stuff, fillers and stuff,
Botox.
like Botox and
Yeah.
stuff. But they're like, we're aware of your, so we're gonna say no now. So
Oh.
yes,
So it's
Okay.
almost like when you drink too much at the bar and then they won't serve you
And then
another
they cut
drink.
Right.
you off.
They cut you off.
Oh my god, you're cut off?
Wow.
of certain things now. Yeah. So that's also why I don't call the therapist as often. I don't go to the doctors because I think they're just thinking, oh, that's Jackie again and she's mental. Like she's right. So let's just,
See,
she's annoying.
That's a terrible way of thinking of supporting mental
They
health.
might not be thinking that way.
Yeah.
I just feel,
Right.
and I feel that they are also sort of projecting that when I do call and say, I need this, or I was wondering if it
Yeah.
is, they're like, huh,
But at the same time,
you
though,
were just here.
they're all of those doctors are supposed to be there for support, and that's something
It's
that's.
just like,
But that's terrible, though. That's where I think our healthcare system needs to change. Is you shouldn't go bad, feel bad going into a physician and being like, "These are my problems," and then be worried about what your physician said. That should be a safe space.
Right.
do you get a period?
Yes.
You
still,
do?
And I hate it.
Will you have?
I hate it.
Who's looking for a button to push? Is
there a blood drop?
Is there a blood drop? What
No.
about the bong rip?
Yeah, that's a good one. Hit it. Yes, I still do. But
So will you
over
have a
time-
hysterectomy?
Good question.
What is that?
It's
So-
when you suck out your uterus.
I had a full hysterectomy, so I have no female hormones. I have no female, and I'm
Do
not
you have
on.
to take them?
I'm not on them either.
Oh, you're
I have
you're
no
just blessed.
female hormones. Nothing female in my body. I have no ovaries. I have no.
We're
uterus.
learning a lot about Jackie.
Yeah,
today.
she's gonna start growing a mustache.
So when the I already do. I shave with a razor, for Christ's
So
sake.
do I.
Straight razor.
Well, I use Drew's. Gillette. Anyhow, well, like
Same. Oh my god.
and if you use it too much, you get bumpy. So you only got to go once. Hit it hard.
There's
and
something
then-
called black soap. I don't know
What's
if you
black?
ever.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it just
stop
for-
getting bumps.
I need that.
Yeah,
I
you
need some
it.
black
That's
soap.
what I do. Right?
Oh, so you don't get the bumps.
Yeah.
Something we're learning about. So, yes, I'm not on any female hormones.
Okay.
I'm not on. I have none. I have
You
no
just-
ovaries.
you
I have
just
no
radiate.
uterus.
So you don't have
radiate
a
it.
period.
No, I haven't in almost 5 years.
So Drew's
wanna
just
trade?
happy anytime.
Yeah, anytime, anywhere. Like, so all these groups where they say, if you identify, if you have a uterus, you're welcome. I'm like, well, I don't have a uterus. And they're always like, what,
Sorry.
you don't? I'm like, no, I don't have a uterus,
Right.
but I'm a woman. So maybe you want to fix that too. Like, I don't know. I'm in this group called Hyster Sisters, and it's when you've had hysterectomies, if you've had a full hysterectomy at a young age.
Yeah.
So because old people get that, right? So
Yeah, my mom, my
Yeah,
mom,
like, and
well,
you're-
she had lesions on hers, so she had to.
Me too. I had
Oh, okay.
fibroids.
Oh, yeah,
Fibroids all throughout
that's what she had.
So they removed the uterus.
Shout out to Hyster Sisters.
Shout out!
They're all at home shaving.
I'm learning a lot today.
See, so another reason why I
Right.
freak out about things. Let's bring this back to me for a minute.
Always.
Look at how my phone under. Because yes, I'm a woman. Yes, I'm an attractive woman. I work really hard at that, and it's part of. But I don't have a uterus. I don't have ovaries. I don't have estrogen anywhere in my body. I own businesses. I run businesses. I'm a wife. I'm very so it's very hard for, and that's why I take
But
offense.
why does that have to be connected?
I take offense to a lot of the online garbage and that's why
But that's
I
your
sort
business.
of relate, and I am very empathetic and understanding with the transgender community.
Right.
Very and seem to have many friends, and that just because I understand this plight and this confusion and this acceptance, this power.
You don't like anybody
empowering.
being persecuted or being
Especially for things like, first of all, sexuality, gay.
Right.
I do not like that. Who cares?
things
who
that you
people are
can't
having sex with?
control.
Yeah.
I'm also, yes. And then this is so huge. When you're born, this is the way I think it. When you're born, a little baby, like you're supported.
baby Jackie.
Yeah, little baby Jackie.
Right.
Little chubs. Like you're supported, you're cared for, you're swaddled in a blanket, you're given a name, you're covered in pink, you're taking,
Look at the baby, look at the baby.
Right. But then as transgender, you're being reborn. But now you're alone, or for the most part, or you're left, or there's no swaddling and there's no whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a very uncomfortable, and I imagine a very scary, unsure, like you're being reborn.
Yeah,
And where's mom and dad swaddling me in a blanket and giving me Ryan and having a cake with a bunch of friends?
There's
Like instead it's,
There's definitely some days where like you just don't want to wake up.
And
or,
then
like, you don't wanna get out
transgender
of
people
bed.
then go out into the world and have to be,
have jobs.
yes. Well,
Yeah, that's why I was asking about that.
Well, they're not
Because it's like when
being
you're going
support-
through something.
you need this support and this,
Yeah.
like you bring home this cute little baby, everyone loves it. If it cries, you run to it. If you're, well, here's the same thing happening at most people from late teens to early adult. And where is that running to you with all of your needs and where's that support that transgender
The support
people
is
need?
on MyHealth.
Yeah, that's all I mean. Like people reach out if I have a way, and I'm sure I fumble along the way. I say stupid shit.
Most people do
And
though. We're all human.
The stupid shit I say is I come from a good place, just
Right.
like everyone at Wiki does. I think we get misconstrued and whatever. We come from a good place. We're curious, which is first of all very important, and we're kind to back that up. That
Yeah,
curiousness.
100%.
And that's why we wanted to have this conversation and not to have this conversation about me. And it doesn't really have to be about just Ryan.
yeah.
Right.
But the conversation is much bigger than what we're just talking about. Acceptance, kindness, understanding, forgiveness. I know respect is sort of, I'm in a lot of these men groups as well. And respect is a really...
Shout them out.
Yeah, no, they have a hard time giving respect to women. There's a real...
Don't hate men. I'm here.
I don't hate men. Like, listen, I don't hate men. Men have opened way more doors for me than women have, and I say that all the time. And I mean, and I think that's super unfortunate and really sad. And then they're like, "Well, look at you." I don't believe it has anything to do with me, and I think it has everything to do with them.
I agree. I think it's like men supporting men is very much a thing.
The bro thing, yeah.
The bro thing. But like when it comes to females or whatever, it's almost like we have to like stomp down on each other just to get a voice, which like everyone should be able to have a voice.
Do you have guys' night now, or are you still part of ladies' night?
I haven't really been going out. I haven't been doing anything. I've just been chilling.
And if you
at
do
home
go out,
working.
don't post it on Twitter because there's a bunch of losers that are ready to hate.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I actually haven't really been posting much except for like yesterday and the day before. I haven't really been posting much. I think that I choose to keep this journey, at least what I'm doing, like to my physical body, a little bit more on the private side. Happy to answer questions, happy to do whatever, but like I see some people that, you know, do promote and like do all of that stuff on social media or whatever. And I think it's great because they are actually shedding a light onto people that might not be as comfortable. And like when I was first discovering who I am and stuff like that, like TikTok, all of that stuff, it was nice to see other people going through the same thing. Is that for me? Is that for me personally? No.
TikTok will get you, man. TikTok will get you loving on the same sex like a mother. Have you been on
gay TikTok?
Gay
It's a thing.
TikTok?
It's a thing.
They'll find something to get you there, Derek. So you will question.
I haven't been on.
There's some
He's like,
people that
"No."
are like, I'm not gay and whatever, and they're like, but gay TikTok.
Go
man.
on gay
Like,
TikTok.
It's
If everybody, you know, it's I'm not on any of those apps.
When
okay?
that one about when
I'm
your
not on
mom
Black
says
Twitter,
you
I'm
better
not
marry
on
a
gay
rich
TikTok.
man, and she throws a shoe up. Mom, I am a rich man. Yeah, you are. I watched those till 4 a.m. Next, I hit the save and then just watched every single one of them of a girl.
Is that why you have 18 hours screen time, Jackie?
That's 100% why she is 18.
Probably.
She's on gay TikTok.
Oh, gay TikTok. Get me.
It's
Oh,
addictive.
boy.
It's the new drug.
Very.
Attention is
She
the new
pulls
drug.
up in her Jeep and she jumps
Listen, we need to have an intervention.
She has a thing
Ryan.
with Jeeps.
We're gonna need to have an intervention.
Yeah.
Attention is the new drug, and Jackie is addicted.
Yep.
Okay, and unfortunately, we need to.
Love is her drug.
Yeah. We need to unplug her.
We need to unplug her.
She is a robot.
I'm so curious. I'm so, this conversation is like I reached out to someone online that I'm not really good friends with, but I knew they were transitioning to a woman and I knew that they were about my size. So I offered them all my clothes or makeup or anything.
I think that's beautiful.
They never responded. And I was like so excited.
Maybe they don't like your style.
Who doesn't like her style?
That could be it. Well, then they could have said, I don't know. I wasn't trying to like gain a friend or anything. I was just like, I got all this shit. Like,
Right.
I also know how uncomfortable it might be to go to a store, a woman's store, as still looking very masculine to
Yeah.
try on clothes.
I think it's
you could just
definitely
come to my
easier-
house and I'll give you it all.
For me to dress more masculine than it would be for a man to dress more feminine.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Like, have you gone into a strictly men's store or no?
Oh my god, I do all the time. I did when I was gay. Like I
Oh, yeah,
always,
your suits
I always,
and
yeah,
stuff.
like I always dress a lot more masculine than feminine.
Yeah, but that's not even.
I feel
People
I feel
don't
like,
question that.
No,
really.
but I feel like it's different. Like if
But they
would
you-
for a
if
If
I walked
if
into
you
a
walked
woman's
into
store-
a woman's store and you were looking for a
Please,
dress.
can we do that? Can
I think I smell a
that be-
social experiment
Wouldn't
here.
that be fun? We take Derek to like Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, we would like him
God.
to try on some.
We have some
underpants.
bras and underwear for Derek, please. Denise. We're gonna go like
Denise.
Denise.
Okay.
And you look just like this.
I get it though. Like you were doing something that you thought was kind or whatever, and it could just be that they're not
Ready?
like there yet, like to accept that, or maybe they feel like a little bit embarrassed that they have to accept handouts, or even just like. I don't know. Like I think it would be
I like
really,
handouts.
Yeah, no, but like you know what I mean. Like I
It could
feel
be
like,
a million things that
Yeah.
maybe doesn't even have anything to do with.
Me, right? Not everything has anything to do
What
with
I'm
me.
saying is like they could not like your style. Maybe they only wear new clothes, or it could be that what you're saying they just weren't ready
Just
to
were not-
come
yeah.
out. But we don't know,
Right.
so
they
you
just
should
never-
never assume. Okay, that's what we need to learn here.
That's one thing. I assume. Never assume. Always just ask, right?
Full
Just
circle.
if you
You're
want to
getting it.
know what their pronouns are, ask.
Right.
If you're
Ask.
curious about something, ask.
I think asking is the most important thing too, because we're like I keep saying, like we're all human, right? And like our innate nature is inquisitive. So I think it's important that if we do have questions to ask, because if we don't, then we just have a certain way of thinking, and that can stem to breed hate or dislike or uncomfortable.
Yep.
So I think it's always important to ask those questions, even if they're difficult, or even if you're afraid of making them feel uncomfortable or you uncomfortable. But we have to remember that we're all human, and I think it's normal to ask questions. And yeah, I'm here to answer any.
Is this a compliment or an insult? Like, I feel I feel like I'm sitting across from a man. Like I can feel that energy and I can feel that vibe. And is that an insult or is that
No, not at all.
Like I feel like, I feel like I'm in a room with Derek and Ryan and I'm sitting with two men at the table.
Well, guess what, Jackie? You are in a room with Derek and Ryan.
Yeah, like, but for real, like
I think it's because like she also knew me. As Whitney too, right?
That. See, so it's
like,
weird, right?
yeah.
Exactly. We should add that so I don't get whatever.
No. Jackie knew me as Whitney, and
Right, and we had a friendship and some secrets. You know, like we talked, like offline. So and then to now be Ryan and only me. It's. I mean, I'm not uncomfortable with it at all. I probably will slip 1,000 more times because you know how good I am with names.
Right.
I mean,
and I'm not good with names, so it's such a good thing.
Totally fine.
Right. So like
there should be like a margin for error too. Like I understand a lot of people in my community get really
upset about it.
Well, there shouldn't be resistance to the new.
But like people are gonna make mistakes. Like if you've known someone for 33 years,
right?
And
it can slip.
Yeah, slipping is natural. I'm not gonna be pissed about it. I'm not gonna.
As long as they're trying and their heart's in the right place.
I get that. Yeah. Like it's hard to switch that mindset or understand that right off the bat. Like it takes work.
Right.
It takes understanding. It takes kindness. It takes practice. But I do know a lot of people that do get really easily offended by that, and I'm like, no, like it's just they're adapting, and allow them that space to adapt because we're just people.
Yeah.
We're just people and we're just learning.
We're just people, Jackie.
Can you imagine if you had kids? It's a whole different conversation if you had children. Because there's lots of transgender that were married and have kids and stuff. Like,
yeah, we've talked about having children. We did agree that if we do have a kid that we're going to adopt because I'm adopted. Both of us don't want to have to go through the baby stage and the toddler stage. That's just not, that's not, we're busy.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Yep.
So, and I would also like to help, and my partner agrees, if we could change a life of someone that maybe not had a fighting chance. Everyone wants newborn babies. Nobody wants like toddlers or older or whatever. Like those are tend to be the people that got forgotten.
Right.
So if we could change someone's life that
just
way,
like puppies.
Yeah, it's like that's something that we would do.
Right.
I mean,
right,
a little
right, Derek. Just like puppies. Puppies and babies, Derek.
Puppies and babies.
So similar. A man again. Just some more shit to pick up.
But yeah, so that's something we considered, but it wouldn't ever be like.
You're Ryan.
I'm also gonna have probably a hysterectomy eventually too, because I don't want estrogen. So
that was liberating as F. Let me tell you.
You probably like. Do you lose weight? Like,
Tons. And you lose weight.
What about PMS? No PMS?
No, nothing. I have no female hormones anymore.
Right.
I don't have mood swings like that. I don't have.
Less that.
You don't have to. I can't wear white shorts, or I can't.
Drew's a happy guy.
Yeah, like there's no exactly.
Anytime, any day, whenever.
Exactly. It's
She
never
is ready to go.
Yes. But
you
then
just have to like plan like, oh, should we go away this weekend? Let me look at her cycle. That doesn't make no sense.
Do you remember that though? I right out of high school or like my first marriage, early on, I remember, we can't go away that Florida trip because I won't wear a bathing suit, like because of. Okay, do you wear one piece or do you wear men's board shorts? Or
men's board shorts.
With like a tank, or are you going?
I use a sports bra right now, but after my top surgery, I'm gonna just free ball it. You know?
Yeah,
that's what Jackie does.
Yeah,
I don't like any bathing of any kind. So, and I literally look like Frankenstein. Like people are like, "Is that a woman? Was that a woman? Was that a man? What's going? Is those puzzle pieces? What's happening there?" I know I look good, all sewn together.
There you go.
Whatever. I think it's more than that. I just imagine what it feels like to come out in your in board shorts or whatever. Like it's I'm all for it.
It's great. Like I love wearing guys' shorts.
I think you think too much.
Well, I think about everything.
She's an overthinker.
My husband won't take his shirt off when he's got a bathing suit on. Like he feels unattractive, I guess, or I'm not confident. I know. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I'll shave your back.
That's love.
And he will not. And I'm like, what the hell? Have fun and nothing is better than swimming naked. Nothing feels better. Jump in a pool or the ocean with just
free. It's free.
I especially love when people are like, okay, so you're not gonna look. No, it can be nighttime. Just get out there and it's fucking free.
You don't have
no sexual anything about it. Nothing sexual about any of this. I'm talking like enjoying life, freeing, experiencing.
Yeah, but naked news probably made that where you.
Well, why did I apply for Naked News without a second thought? I obviously had all that before Naked News.
Right.
Naked News helped for sure because they created a safe, and they also created sort of celebrity around it. That you know, being naked and very
Yeah, I guess it's like what I'm saying is it's like if you do something and it's repetitive, then eventually
second nature. I think nothing of it.
Yeah,
I think nothing of it. So
No, I love being
like
naked.
the transgender and Ryan being Ryan and Ryan being male and masculine, and you know, I think it's second nature now. It is the way he is moving forward. So these conversations I'm sure will be less and less and less, and we just celebrate Ryan as a person.
Listen, I'm celebrating Ryan as a person.
And
I'm celebrating
app,
MyHealth.
MyHealth app, he's all over that one.
That's where I'm all over.
I'll send you the baby.
He's not joking.
You know,
I'll do it.
I'm all over what Ryan is doing.
You wanted
understand?
Ryan part of everything before.
That's right.
Yeah, he's smart. Where I can see and smell intention and whatever, Derek can smell money and opportunity.
You know what it is? Okay.
It's good to have both.
I do like money. Okay.
Yes.
But it's not about
doesn't?
money. I like ambition.
And you like when there's a need for something, he's like, well, why don't we make that? Like
Right.
it's all kinds of, it might not even be something he's like ice or
I like
whatever,
entrepreneurs.
exactly.
That's what it is. I like
It's someone we
entrepreneurs.
celebrate it. It takes a lot for someone to wake up and not go to a 9 to 5.
Right.
And like
Take
struggle.
the chance,
Struggle.
struggle, roll the dice, believe in it. No one else believes in
I literally
it.
can't relate to anyone that hasn't had a struggle. Like I
Right.
find it the hardest. Like if someone comes to me and they're like, "Oh, my life's been handed to me," I'm like,
Right.
"Fuck you!" Like, are you kidding me? You have no idea how other people have to how hard we have to work. So.
And now we know actually how hard you were working on top of all of that.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's a lot.
It's been a lot. Ding, 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 ding,
Awesome.
ding, ding, ding. It was a good chat. It was a good chat.
It was.
Thanks so much for joining us.
No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
thanks for
having
joining
me.
us, Ryan. Is there anywhere people can sign up for the waiting list for MyHealth?
No, not yet. That'll be in the next couple months, but
Okay.
you can follow me on social media because I do post updates about it.
Perfect. So where should they follow you?
Ryan Heckford and then an underscore.
Perfect.
Ryan Heckford _ Well, thank you for joining us on the Green Room, where cannabis talk and the world talks. Sometimes sticky.
Always fresh.
Always fresh, though. Keep it locked on Cannabis.wiki.
We're always fresh and a little bit sticky. The Green Room on Cannabis.wiki